Scorpio, this is your tarot reading for the month of October. I'm sure, like so many people's, it's about change. I think it's all positive, although it might not always feel positive during this month for you. The overall energy is that of the Ten of Cups. Multiple blessings, but particularly in terms of love. Now, the nature of the change that's going on, love is highly accentuated. So I'm certain that's the right direction to be taking. In the past, you were certainly blessed, but maybe you were alone. So maybe this means that somebody is coming into your life, or you sort of renew the love you have for your loved ones. I'm not sure. Certainly right now you're working together with others to achieve something. Maybe that's the basis of this new love. In the future it sees you action planning. Well, you know, if you move from one paradigm to the new, that seems sensible, but as long as you know there may be even more change further down the road. And with change, so often comes a tower moment. We have one here. The tower leads to the outcome, and the outcome's a great outcome. You needed this release from this tower moment. The tower got rid of the old and allows you to build on a strong foundation and new. I wonder if this is about relationships. I just wonder, you know, we've had in the past you were by yourself, and now this is all about sort of loving relationships. I wonder if you had a bad relationship that needed mending. What would change the outcome is, I think, a false dawn. And that is becoming full of hope, feeling like you're reborn, but actually it's not quite that. Because the real dawn is absolutely being full of blessings, feeling wonderful and attracting great things in your life because you feel so good. And that is you being truly reborn out of that tower moment. Very interesting, and I think overall positive. So let's look in depth for you, Scorpio. Now, the overall energy is one of multiple blessings, but particularly accentuated is love. Particularly accentuated is a loving relationship. I wonder if you're currently not in a loving relationship, and this is pointing to the future for you. I just wonder, because there are things going on here that suggest major change. So is this a part of the major change? I mean, it could even be a renewal of love for the same person. That you're in a relationship but it's not loving and you find love. So, because I don't see anywhere you meeting somebody new particularly. I mean, you might do, you might do, but that isn't coming on strongly. What is coming on strong is blessings, and blessings about loving relationships. In the past, you had blessings, particularly financial blessings, material blessings, but maybe you were by yourself. I mean, maybe you're not by yourself, as I say, maybe you're in a relationship, but it's not a loving relationship. But what I've realised is the importance of the juxtaposition of these two energies, because of the past was about materialism. Materialism, even if that meant a degree of selfishness or individualism, certainly. And now we've got blessings of love, blessings of being together, blessings of communion with others. And that's how the world is changing. And I think that's the profound nature of these two energies in these positions. So it's telling us about the change that you need to embrace. And I think also a part of the new paradigm is working with others as a team to achieve something. This isn't necessarily like a production line whereby you're doing similar jobs. This is people with their own specialisms coming together to create a synergy, to create something new. And it contrasts with the individualism of the past. Maybe it's through this team working that you find this love, or you renew this love. Maybe it's just a love of humanity we're talking of here. It really doesn't matter, I don't think, because I think this is really all about how things are going to shift and what's going to be important in the future. And working with others to achieve something is clearly important. And I think you really do embrace these changes, because in the future it sees you action planning, sees you saying, okay, I've looked at the options, I'm going to have to do something very radical, something different to what I'm used to, because I'm in the new paradigm. And how do I go about doing that? Now, there may be more changes to come, so don't get too set in your ways on this. But I do see this yet again as incredibly positive. It's as though you really are understanding and embracing the change and moving with the change that's coming. Yes, it looks very positive. Now, with major change often comes a tower moment, and we have your tower moment here. And many people are getting tower moments this month or some around this month. And I'm no longer fazed by it, because, you know, a tower is cathartic. It clears out the old and brings in the new, and it's very necessary. It allows you to build your new life on positive foundations. A good many people, and I don't know if this applies at all, but are going through something of a long night of the soul. And those people who aren't their true friends, aren't their true loves, are being exposed to them. So I wonder if you have been in a relationship but not a loving one, and this exposes it. It's possible, but I'm not sure. I'm not at all sure. But this catharsism is absolutely necessary, and you embrace it, and it gives you a firm foundation on which to build your new life. So it's actually a very positive thing, despite it seeming negative. Now, what I think could be a red herring, a delay, something that diverts you, is a false dawn, a sense that you've already moved on, a sense that things have already changed. And that comes with this sort of star energy, an energy of being reborn, and so you feel like you've been reborn, and an energy that's full of hope. But it isn't quite what we're looking for. And maybe that's like, you know, a bit like going back to the past and the overall energy. The past, there were blessings, particularly financial blessings, but you were perhaps by your own. Whereas the overall energy is that of many blessings, but also loving relationships. And I wonder if that's this false dawn, that if you allow yourself to be diverted and say, yes, I've already moved on, it's already happened, but I haven't really addressed the underlying issues, that you're not quite ready to move on because of you can't move on unless you've learned the lessons of the past cycle. I think you do, don't worry, I think you do, but this is a potential cul-de-sac, potential rabbit hole for you to fall down. So if the star is the false dawn, the true outcome is the sun. Now in the Platonic cosmology, the sun is a star. So the sun is the most important star, which is why I see this star as being a sort of false dawn, because there was a bigger prize there. The sun is where your heart is absolutely filled with love. Filled with love. Going back to what this is all about, blessings, but particularly love. So are we actually talking about relationships and people here? Or are we just talking about a feeling of being full of love and bliss towards yourself, towards those you know, towards humanity, towards God? Could be that that's what it's about. And you know, once you're filled with this bliss, you will be co-creating a better world. Everything will become much better, much better. It's almost like you've got the Midas touch when you're filled with this energy. So a wonderful ending. And there's absolutely no need at all to get clarity on this reading. It's a lovely reading, Scorpio. Scorpio, what a terribly interesting spread you have for October. I think it's really highlighting to you. I mean, you must know we live in a time of major change. And I think it's beginning to highlight to you what the difference is. Because I think you've already embraced that change largely. But this is just saying, well, you know, there's a bit more to it than you think. And it's sort of summed up between your past, which was multiple blessings, but maybe alone, and the overall energy, which is multiple blessings, but multiple blessings with love. Now I've got a dilemma. Is this about loving relationships, or is this about love in general? And I honestly don't know. It could simply be about loving yourself, loving others, loving all of God's creation, loving God. But that's the important difference. Now we would expect a tower when there's major changes, and we have a tower. And the tower clears out maybe the bad thinking, maybe people who are dragging down your emotions, maybe ways of being, behaviours, but they need to be cleared out. And I know you embrace it, so you see it as a good thing, you really do. Now, this idea of sort of the past, and you know that you need to be full of love, you know what you need to be doing, But what you haven't fully grasped is just how profound and big the difference is. Because there's a false dawn here whereby you become full of hope, feel like you're reborn, but haven't fully cast out all of the past. Whereas what's on offer here is absolutely filling yourself full of love. Filling yourself full of love, as I say, for yourself, for others, for all of Allah's creation, for God himself. And once you've done that, you will be co-creating a better world. And once you've moved on, you can start planning for this better world. You need to know that there may be more change, but I think you probably actually already know it. And God bless you for it, Scorpio.